Okay, this your boy Joe from Attention to Detail. As you already know, I am in the military and I have PCS, meaning that I permanent change of station. I have left my old stomping grounds where I did detailing, house washing, and etc. to make extra income on the regular. So I have PCS. I am located in Hawaii now. So, with that being said, if you are an active duty military member and you are trying to PCS or you are coming up on the PCS from your state, 50 state, like I guess across the Atlantic or Pacific, from there to Hawaii, then you in for a rude awakening. Um, I needed to make this video because I'm looking online to see if there's any other um, videos out there explaining to, you know, military service member and DA civilians that are coming on travels for official business to Hawaii. Um, it is difficult. The flight will be difficult because at the time that I flown, which was a few days ago. It was every other seat. You have to sit in every other seat. There's space between you. So if you're traveling, try to get the window seat because you ain't got to deal with the aisle traffic. So bring your hand sanitizer. Bring more than one uh, writing instrument. A lot of entertainment. In addition to that, just try to minimize contact. And you got to have a face mask the whole entire flight. The only time you're allowed to remove your face mask is when you're eating. But here's the kicker. On the flights, at the time when I took my flight, they're not serving food. There isn't food service on the aircraft. So I would say bring your own food. Bring your own drinks. Prepare yourself to know that from wherever you're leaving from and your flight bound to this location, just know that you look at how long your flight is and you bring what you think is sufficient. And I'm not trying to say to bring the whole Lord's Last Supper because guess what? You have to cross over to someone to get to the bathroom often. I don't know. I'm just sharing. I thought I'd put that out there. Yeah. So once you're on the island, it's a mandatory 14-day quarantine. So I would say once you get exit the aircraft and you sign in, you do your thing at the airport, and you go to your residence. Make sure, make sure you're aware two things. You have to provide them an address as to where you're staying. Now, if you're living in a hotel, you have to provide them the hotel address and telephone number and the name of the hotel. If you're living with friends or relatives, or if wherever you're gonna go, you have to provide them the 5 W's as to where you're gonna be, where you living with or who you living with, and a point of contact. Now, I could tell you that people that have failed to do so, there's a news channel that comes on throughout the day and they are looking for island offenders because there's a mandatory 14-day quarantine. Mandatory 14-day quarantine. And when I say quarantine, that means you got to have a game plan upon your arrival. You need to, if you're a military service member and you have a sponsor, you need to prepare him or her the day you get off, as soon as you exit the aircraft. I highly recommend you go straight to the supermarket, given the time. If it's after hours, because the island closed down, I don't think it's a 24-hour thing for certain stores. I don't know. But I would say you would have to sustain yourself for at least the first 7 days. I'm not trying to say go grocery shopping just like how it was the beginning of the pandemic, but I would say go grocery shopping. There's something to hold you over. My list was very simple. I got some eggs, bacon, hamburger meat to make my own hamburger patties. What else? Water, whole bunch of water, and some microwavable stuff, some little snacks, some munchies, um, some other little knick-knack that could hold you over for 7 days. And that way you could have your sponsor, rinse and repeat. At that time you could or should have created your second grocery list, and you allow him or her to go and retrieve those items that is needed. Now, second, um, what I did to make it easy for my sponsor, I got the Cash App and I got the Cash App card. I put money on it. I put about $200. It is expensive here. So I put about $200 on that card, and that allowed my sponsor to not use their money to buy my groceries. So the Cash App card came in handy. I put the money on the card, I gave it to them. They went shopping for the little things that I know I could do with. And then as I uh, ate the food that I had, I started to say, okay, um, I would like to have this, that, and the third. And, you know, I recharged the card up. They had it, and they was able to get the second 7 days of food that just to top off what I didn't eat. Now, upon choosing your hotel, you want to get a place that has a suite, sort of like a kitchenette. A lot of them military places have it. If not, I highly encourage that's what you do, because if it has a kitchenette, you want to ensure that it has pots and pans. And if it doesn't have pots and pans, then that's something you may want to consider. Like, hey, do I need to buy extra pots and pans? Extra sponsor, hey, do you mind loaning me a couple of pots and pans? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. But I made sure that the hotel that I chose to stay at had pots and pans, eating utensils, refrigerator, microwave, some of the things that you need to help sustain yourself. Uh, hmm, what else? Yes. So in processing will be a little bit different, but I mean, due to that's a military function, I will leave that out of this video because I don't want to jeopardize the security of others in that process. But all in all, I highly recommend you do some research and understand what phase the island is on as far as reopening. Uh, there's a lot of media out there giving you a lot of information is giving you on island reopening, the status, the phases. I know the state that I left for from to head out here, they was in phase one of their reopening of their state. So I would highly suggest that you, as an individual, do your research and to see um, your the status of the island and what you can and cannot do, um, so on and so forth. Now, If you're traveling with kids or family, um, I highly encourage you. If you unable to do it without, if you're unable to do travel without them, then once again, your grocery bill for your first 14 days is going to be high, because you not only providing food for yourself, you're providing food for the other individuals that you're responsible for. So, to include pets, once again, first 14 days, you got to keep that in mind. Now, maybe you could get situated on your own, kind of get the ball moving, take pictures with your loved ones, send it back. Hey, this is the house I'm looking for. I'm looking at. What do you think? It has all the needs. You kind of run down the stuff that you need, and then you kind of help do that type of transaction. Hell, this 2020, you got video. You get on the video, say, hey, this is the outside of the house. What y'all think? We could put a swing here. We could put a trampoline there. And over here, we could put your mother when they come. They sleep in this room. The kids are sleeping in that room. Or if he does solo, you got a girlfriend back home. You want to, you're trying to make it about, create beautiful times during this difficult time by working together and with decision making. Now, one of the things that I found difficult is trying to navigate some of the things, um, like I would say getting information about the island. You may come in contact with people that are leaving, and you may come in contact with people that are currently here and they got a little bit more time. And you may come in contact with people who've been here before and are returning back. Um, Everybody have a different story about the island, so at the end of the day, you take it for what it's worth. I highly encourage you to get pamphlets, read up on it. Just do what you need to do to educate yourself. Um, and I would say that's about it for now. I am in processing. I'm sorry, as I were. Um, I'm about to in process here shortly because I'm still on my 14-day quarantine. And trust me, um, you know, uh, it's crazy. You working out in your room, you're trying to keep active, you're trying to find ways, lifting weights. You try to find certain ways to keep your mind going. I got magazines on a new skill that I wanted to learn. So 14 days, I think that's get your mind exercising. I picked up a book for coding for beginners, coding for beginners. So I've been going through that. I set myself on a timeline throughout the day. Then I got another book on just, cars, car builds, engine, motor, how to paint. So I'm exercising the mind. So when you locked in this room for a 14-day quarantine, then you realize that you just get your mind going. I highly encourage you open up the windows because there's a lot to see flying. Just the scenery. But yeah, just if you that type of person that can't exercise in the room, just do it at your own risk. But I will tell you, from the time I came, you will receive phone calls. You will receive phone calls either it's on your hotel phone or your cell phone. They're calling, they're checking on you. They want to ensure that you're not experiencing any of the COVID-19 symptoms. They're calling you if it's daily or every other day, and they call at different time. So don't miss that phone call, because if you do miss that phone call and you're not where you're supposed to be, I don't know what steps they're taking to say, hey, this person have not answered my phone call, and we need to put him or her on the island violator list. It is a hefty fine. I would say $5,000. I could do a lot with $5,000. Uh, what else? Could be confinement and an immediate, deportation back to where you came from, or you may have to get reprimanded from your chain of command. I don't know, but just stay with it. Don't be one of them people that can't live without. I'm an old head, so you know, uh, I'm old enough to say, hey, $5,000 ain't really worth me giving away when all I was just told take a 14-day vacation before coming to work. So if you have any questions, comment down below. I'll try to keep a video coming about my whole transition while I'm here in Hawaii and the transition and during this COVID-19. So if you have any questions, I could try to answer them as correct as possible, because I know everybody may have a different situation. So if you ask a question, just make sure you try to ask a question that benefits the whole of whoever watched this. Maybe, I can answer that question and someone else read the remarks. They can see I probably answered their question as well. So thank you. This your boy. Hit me up. I try to keep a video. I had a process in it is, and just take care.